So guys, this is the part 3 of this video, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the visa process. So first thing about the visa process is you need a sponsor, right? So if you're going to be sponsoring yourself, which is totally okay, you need to be able to give proof of your financial status, of how much you have, how well you can afford these things you want to do. Can you afford your school fees, your accommodation, your livelihood? Basically, you need to be able to show proof through your bank statements, through the land that you own, properties you own, shares that you have, stocks that you have, anything that has to do with money. You have to be able to tender the documents. It's usually advised that you use a family member like your mom or dad or your sister or yourself. It is stronger that way. Using your uncle or your aunties, I don't know, but my agent advised me that my dad or me. So you want to have a sponsor that is rich, that has money, to make sure that you've built it for like a long time before you are applying. It makes your application strong. All these things makes your application strong, right? So it is usually advised that you do them. Another thing is, I already mentioned that my CV was used for my own visa process, right? Like I already have experience, and the experience I have is tallying with the course I want to do, which is MBA, digital marketing. I'm a beauty artist. There was just a lot I put in my SOP. Everything about me, I packed it there, right? So that they know that I'm an innovative person, I'm an entrepreneur, I have things going on for me back in my own country. So they believe that there are ties to the country. I have ties to Nigeria. So there's no reason whatsoever for me not to leave their country when I'm done schooling. And so they are able to give me the visa. Also, after getting your CV and all these things, you need like a form of backup, either from your workplace or wherever. I don't know. You just need a backup that shows that, oh, this person is working with us. She's trying to gain admission into your school. We solely support it. So they call it letter of recommendation. There is study leave approval. So study leave is like the company recognizes that you are leaving to go and study. However, your slot is still opened for you to come. Then there is the other one, letter of expertise. Expertise is more or less like showing that you're good in your field, your whatever. It's 3 letters. If I'm missing it right now from the top of my head, I'm just going to write it on the screen. The kind of things you need to get from your company, if you have a company you're working with, those things you need to stamp them. You need to print them on the company's letterhead, get them stamped and signed. These things really help, but some companies will not necessarily help you. They will not want to help you with these things. If you want to get more information about all these things, you can just text me privately. I will explain how you can go about these things. Things are very important. Letter of recommendation, study leave approval, and letter of excellence or letter of expertise. You need those 3 things to apply for your visa. I think that's making 3 things that you already need now. 1, your CV. 2, your sponsor, net of accounts, properties and all that. Then thirdly, you need these 3 documents from your workplace or wherever it is that you are committed to. You need those 3 things from them to make your application stronger. Then your SOP. So I think that's a total of 4 documents: CV, SOP, letters from your company, your statement of accounts, and enough money. I think those are like the 4 major things. Oh, your IELTS, yes. They also advise that you have your IELTS for your visa application. So that's the first part of the visa application. When you've sent all these documents, mind you, sourcing for these documents can be very tiring. Most of these documents, you have to condense them in a way that it fits into the portal for the visa application, right? They have a certain amount of megabytes that you can upload in that place. So you kind of have to compress and remove and deduct and all that. Anything that has to do with your visa process, please take your time. Do not rush anything. Make sure you check all the documents thoroughly. You get the original documents, you scan them properly, you arrange them properly. It really helps with your visa application. Now, after you send these 5 major things to the agent, they're going to apply for you. They're going to check through all these documents, rearrange them, make them look better. You've done your own part by giving them the concise documents and fixing it where you need to fix it. However, they're still going to do thorough check. They have a team that will still check all these things, right? If there's any issue at any point they're going to reach out to you and tell you, you know what, this particular thing you sent to us is this, is that. Then you have to go and adjust whatever it is that they've told you, and make sure you have enough time on your hands, because you don't want to be delaying anything, everything that you are told to do. So after they've applied for you, then you would move to your biometrics process. So for the biometrics, it's basically just getting your identity in a place, getting your name, just like you're applying for a visa. They want to know who this person is. That's just it. It's not hard at all, right? You have to go online and book a date for your appointment. You have to pick a time for your appointment. I did mine in Lagos, right? So I booked online, I picked a date, and you have to get there at least 1 hour earlier, because you would be called in like 30 minutes before, right? So you just want to be there already. They would call you in, you sit down and you wait to be called. You just need your passport and the photocopy of your appointment. That is all you need to do this. They'll give you a slip that you have to bring back when they ask for your passports. That's like towards the end anyways. So after you've done your biometrics now, that's when you're now waiting, because you've submitted everything they need from you. The wait is usually tough. Oh my god. So in my case, they applied in October, I think 23rd, and I went to do my biometrics like I think the 4th day or so. And after I did my biometrics, I was just like, waiting. That was just it. So one thing that some people do, which I did not do, is some people go ahead to do their medicals upfront. However, my agents advised that I do it when they request for it, right? So the Canadian Embassy will send a request for you to go and do your medicals. If and when they send a request for you to go and do your medicals, babes, guys, you are 80% through. Like, you are one step in Canada already. Once they ask you for your medicals, you are one step in. That was what I did in my own case. I didn't do my medicals upfront. I got my medical request in January, end of January. So I applied in October, November, December, January, end of January. So that's 4 months. It took 4 months for me to get my medical request. So once I got my medical request, it felt like I had got my visa, because I've talked to people, I talked to a number of people, my friends, and they were like, once you get your medical requests, forget it. That's like the major thing. Like, they requested for your medicals. That's like the major thing that you need to know that, okay, I'm getting this. Because if they were going to reject you, they're not going to ask you for your medicals. They're just going to reject you upfront, and it even takes a shorter time. It depends. It varies actually. Some people, they reject them in 1 month. Some people, they reject them in 2 months. And some people, the application is usually just in the system. They didn't reject them. They did not request for medicals. It's just in the system. So you just have to go and wash your head properly and talk to your God. For my visa application, I paid a certain amount. I'm just going to put it in the slide. I kind of have to check, right? I paid a certain amount for the visa application, or was it for my biometrics? I will check and confirm, and I'll just put the information, just like a short text. I'll put it in the video. So you have to pay. Those are the only 2 things I paid for. Was, I think, biometrics and my medicals. Those were the 2 things I paid for. And anything you're paying for, it's going to be going into an account that you would know that, oh, this is a general fee. Nobody is scamming you. Speaking for my own agent though, I don't know about any other agents, so please do not quote me in front of any other agents you're using. So what is medicals about? Medicals, as the name implies, is just to check your vitals and check if you're okay and you're fit to come to their country and everything. So it's not hard, but it takes time. And if you dey slow, if you lose, they say if you snooze, you lose. You guys use streets, right? Because there are a ton of people traveling. Please don't even think that you're the only one traveling. No, it go shock you when you reach where you go. People, they travel every damn day. Like, I was shocked. Like, so nobody only me one jackpot like this. I was the only one trying this thing. You will see a lot of people. Everybody's there for different things. So you are the one that will not just sit and be relaxed. You need to be on the go. In my own case, I was on the go. Like, if they will give you like a paper, that you're supposed to follow. First, go and meet the doctor. First, take your vitals, check your vitals, your temperature. They will collect your blood. They will do x-ray for you. All these things, they will tell you is like step by step. Trust me, I had things to do that day. So if there's a long queue at the other one I'm supposed to go for, I go ahead to check the next one, which is probably, let's say, maybe I'm supposed to go and do my temperature in one place. I've taken a paper. However, it's taking long. They've not called me. I'll just quickly go to where they are doing x-ray. Collect x-ray is always free. Like, there are not a lot of people doing the x-ray. So you go there, do your x-ray, you tick that one. Because if you don't tick everything before you leave that place, now there you go sleep. I, in my own case, with the way I street, I still spent like 5 hours there doing medical. So you have to just be sharp and do your thing fast and leave the place so that they can upload your results online and you know where you're going to. Medicals, there's nothing serious about medicals. Just make sure you're fit, everything about you is okay, you don't have any ailments, or they will take your urine sample, your blood sample. Yeah, I think those are like the major things. Then do your x-ray for you. They'll check your temperature. They will ask you some questions. They will press your body. You know how we run things in Nigeria now. Those are the basic things that they will do. So after they do that for you, then they will upload it to your portal. You will get a mail that they've uploaded it, and my agents in this case reached out to me that, oh, it has been submitted and all, that they've seen it and everything. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. Now, some people usually have issues with their medicals. I don't know why that is. In my own case, I never had any issues with my own medicals, right? But some people do have issues. If that happens to you, do not panic. It's not the end of the world. You just have to know where the issue is coming from and rectify it immediately. That's why I keep saying you have to be on top of your of your game. The agents, my agents, they will do everything they have to do for you. But you also have to do your own part, in the sense that you're asking questions, you're confirming, even if it's to go as far as calling the medical center that you went to do your medicals with, that, oh, please, have you uploaded my result? Although they will text you, but just make sure you're being proactive, because you need to be able to put your facts right. When your agent is telling you this, or when my agent is telling you that, you want to tell them that, oh, I actually asked and they said this is that. You need to just know everything you're doing, right? So after you've submitted and they've seen your medicals and everything, now in my own case, I waited for, it was about 2 weeks. I think it was about 2 weeks. Yeah, it was about 2 weeks. Then I got a passport request. So once they request for your passport, obviously that means you've gotten the visa. They're requesting for your passport to stamp and give you your visa, right? So I got a passport request after 2 weeks. And sorry, one thing I forgot to mention, for your medicals, right, you need to book an appointment. Now, the reason why some people do it upfront is getting an appointment for your medicals can be quite tricky. So in my own case, when I wanted to book an appointment for my medicals, I didn't see any dates until end of February, or there was no date in February, beginning of March and middle of March, and I'm resuming school in April. I'm like, what? And when you do your medicals, it still takes another 2 weeks for them to respond to you. So I'm like, if I'm doing this thing in March and it's taking another 2 weeks for me to get a response, then I take my passport there to stamp, it's still going to take about another 1 week. What time do I have to prepare to pack my things and get to school, get here and still go to school April 4th? I'm like, So when I went online, I didn't see any appointment dates. Like, it was so funny. So you can either do it in Lagos or do it in Abuja. Most of the time people travel to Abuja because Abuja has it doesn't have too many influx of people like that, unlike Lagos now. And it's just one center that is in Lagos. There's only one center you can do your medicals. I don't know of any other center. Luckily for me, and I thank God for that, I went to the website. I didn't see any appointments for March, but I saw an earlier date in Abuja, but I didn't see any date in Lagos. I'm like, God, I beg. I kept on scrolling. I didn't leave the website. I didn't leave the page. I kept on scrolling and checking back and refreshing and everything. Lo and behold, by the time I refreshed the second time, mind you, I got my medical request in January, end of January, something around maybe 20 something, or yeah, about that period. The earliest medical date appointment I got. Luckily for me, after refreshing the page, I don't know why I was refreshing the page, but I just told God that, God, I don't want to be stressed. Let me just see. And I refreshed the page and I just saw 10th of February. Immediately, I didn't even think it twice. I booked it right there and then. And I paid for it immediately because I don't want any story about the slot disappearing or whatnot. So yeah, I got the appointment for February 10th. Then I went to do it and it took me about 6 or 5 hours. And after I did it on the 10th, it took about another 2 weeks for me to get a response. Then my agent called me that, oh, gotten your passport request. You now have to take your passport to the place you went to do your biometrics, which is the immigration center on the island for Canada, right? So I'm like, oh, I was so happy. I think that should be the best moment of my life, because waiting is frustrating. I didn't rhyme. Anyways, then I took my passport immediately with immediate alacrity. I ran, because for you to send your passport, you don't need any appointments, you don't need anything. You just need to send your passport to the place that they're going to stamp it. So because of the whole corona thing going on, they don't accept it in the center, like where you do your biometrics. They didn't accept my. They told me that I need to go to DHL to send it myself, or any courier service to send it myself. So I went to DHL. I used DHL and I used normal delivery. I didn't use the express delivery or anything because I still have enough time on my hands. I was going to resume in April 4th, and I got my passport request end of February. So it was still reasonable timing, so there was no need for me to do express or whatnot. I had the delivery details, the tracking number and everything. It took about a week for me to get my passport back. So like beginning of March, I'd already gotten my passport back. And because I already knew that, oh, I'm definitely leaving, I already booked my flight, because it's also advisable that you book your flights ahead of time. So because I was leaving April 4th, I was able to book earlier, right? So that's because the nearer you are to the date, the more expensive the flight gets, right? But yeah, that's not what we're talking about here. So basically every process that I did for my visa application took about 4 months. Yeah, I have a friend that has took just 2 months for a visa process, and she used my agent too. I have another friend that it took a long time. I have another person that I know that she got rejected at some point and then she got the visa. So it's different stories for different people. What worked for me might not necessarily work for you. So just make sure you do everything that my agent, if you're going to be using my agent in this case, you have to do everything they've told you to do, and make sure that your documents are well packed, make sure that you have enough money, make sure that you know what you're doing, and make sure that you're on top of your game, you're very proactive, and you're preparing yourself for being here. Guys, I think that's virtually everything. And yeah, most of the questions I was asked, I've answered them here. I'm here for school. I don't know anything about PR. I guess you can always reach out to my agents to ask them if they do that, but I don't know anything about PR. It was strictly school, for school purposes, so that's what I came here to talk about. So guys, I hope that this video has been informative enough based on all the things that you guys have been asking me on my page, on everything. I hope that this is very, very informative, and I hope that you can learn one or two things from here in your journey to seeking admission. So the agents I use, they deal with different countries. It's not just Canada, they have different countries. This is what you get when you do your consultation with them. They will give you different options, but like I already mentioned, you want to do your own research and know where you are going to, where you want to go to, the opportunities that you can get where you are going to. You don't just want to leave Nigeria and after how many years, how many money you spent, you now go back again. So just think everything through. So yes guys, I'm so glad that I've been able to film this video, because trust me, it is actually a whole lot of things to talk about in a concise manner. But if there's anything I missed out or I didn't talk about, just feel free to drop it in the comment section, and I will definitely be there to respond to you. And yeah, all the links that you need for every information that I've given you, the link to my agents, the link to the form, I'm going to drop everything in the description box. So just make sure you go through my description box. So yeah, Thank you so much for sticking to the end of this video. I really appreciate it. And please do not forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share, and watch all my previous videos. There is more to come. And like I said, if there's anything you want to know about my process and you feel like I didn't mention, please drop it in the comment section and I'll be sure to address it. Till we'll see next time. Bye. Mwah.